Hello. Thank you for watching. I'm excited for this video. It's got a solution here that I'm going to move towards the end here that I really want you to hear, and I'm gonna present a problem here, a problem that maybe you're going through, a problem that I've faced, and I'm going to provide the solution I've come to that's drastically improved my life, and it's going to turn you into a conscious creator of your life. Give you the power, put it in your hands to create your life the way you want it. Okay? So I said problem, right? The scenario that we get into is that, yes, you've heard of the subconscious programming, right? Yes or no? You have heard of, like, yeah, our lives are based on this, our early childhood experiences, right? But I feel stuck. I don't know how to move forward, right? And that's exactly true. That's what a lot of us feel like. We try to create change. We try to transform our life in some way. Maybe it's improve our relationships, set boundaries, lose weight, overcome anxiety, depression, OCD, anything like that. Anything that involves creating change or transformation is going to involve this process. And so I want to go into a little bit of physiology to set up what I'm talking about. And please listen through this to really understand the depth of this conversation and the solution we're moving towards. So from a physiological standpoint, right, our human body has a nervous system. So nervous system, that implies electricity, right? We have electricity running through our body. When you die, the electrical currents stop. Life living requires electricity running through our body. And this is done via the human nervous system, which is composed of your central nervous system, which is brain, spinal cord, your peripheral nervous system, which moves out from there, and that includes your autonomic nervous system. You've heard of, underneath that would be like your sympathetic, your fight or flight, your parasympathetic, rest and digest. And then also under peripheral would be your enteric nervous system, which is your gut, digestive system, which we've heard this gut-brain connection, right? That's because you have a ton of neurons, nerve cells in your gut. It includes your somatic nervous system, which is how your muscles and coordinating movement, right? So this is all the electricity. And the power grid is your brain, your mind. That's where it comes from and sends electricity out into the areas to produce action, to produce the result, okay? So we call those efferent fibers, bringing electricity from the grid out to the organs, to the muscles, to whatever. We also have 5 senses, right? Eyes, seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, touching. This is how we interact with our environment, right? This is how we communicate to these deeper parts of our brain so we can live. Speaking of the deeper parts of your brain, there's a model called the triune model of the brain. Some people agree with it, some people don't. We're going to discuss it because it's very simple to understand. It's an evolutionary model of, like, your base brain, right, called your hindbrain, or your reptilian brain, right, formed first. You see this in certain animals. It's only caring about survival, right, fighting, sex, food, survival, right? So all survival functions. And then after that, we developed a limbic system, midbrain, that's involving emotions, processing, and memory. And then on top of that, we have prefrontal cortex, forebrain, where we have thinking and rationalizing, memory formation, speech, okay? What makes us humans on top. 3 parts of the brain. Now, the lower parts of our brain are right, that survival aspect. Now, I want to go also into the conscious brain and subconscious brain. So kind of laying some groundwork so we can understand what I'm moving towards. The conscious brain, which is what we're engaging with right now, can only process, they say, 40 bits of information per second. Compare that to your subconscious, right? Which is most of our brain. They say 80% of our brain is subconscious, below the surface, out of our awareness, can process 40 million bits of information per second. Okay, do you see the difference here? So, who do you think is really responsible for when we go out and, you go outside, go to a shopping mall, go to the beach, go anywhere in public, social situations where there's a lot of stimuli. Who's taking on all that information? Conscious or subconscious? Well, we know your conscious brain doesn't have that much ability, but your subconscious sure can, right? It acts as a gatekeeper, excuse me, a gatekeeper to only give us the parts of our environment what we can see, what we can hear, what we can take in, only gives us that into our conscious brain that is important for our survival or for what we think is important to us, what we feel is important to us, right? The system, we're going to get more to that aspect soon. The system that does this on our brainstem is called our reticular activating system. We'll call it the RAS. Reticular activating system plays an important role here, right? It's like gatekeeper. All this stuff out there, everything out here, right? But what gets let into your conscious brain? What can you actually see in your environment? What can you actually take in? Can you perceive? That is dictated by, again, your ability to survive these basic functions of hunger, right? And threats to our survival, but also the beliefs we have about ourselves, how we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, and how we see ourselves. We call it our self-concept. And this is developed in childhood and on as we've had these early childhood experiences and how other people socially have interacted with us. And we formulated this view of ourselves. And within that is its own threat protection system, but it dictates and influences our reticular activating system. Now, why is this important? Why am I talking about this? For a lot of, when I was learning this information, I felt like I was stuck because I knew, my subconscious is running my life, and my subconscious is living from a place of lack. All these fear-based limited beliefs, right? And I knew I had it because I have anxiety, OCD, just not feeling motivated for my life, not having a vision for my life, not just having fatigue, not having good performance, either playing sports, doing certain things, meeting new people, right? It just something felt off. And I knew that, yes, I believe this concept that our subconscious, right, is doing this. But how do we move forward? And that's what this video is about. See, this is how you empower yourself, is that your beliefs about yourself, this self-concept, impacts and matters to your animal brain, this automatic functions, right? It matters. Because your subconscious is running your life with these limited, fearful beliefs about yourself. So do you think you can get what you want? Do you think you can have a meaningful, happy life with those beliefs? That being your operating system? No. But this is how you move forward. And it's based on this fact that your subconscious does not know the difference between what you imagine in your mind versus what happens in your reality. Okay? So your subconscious registers the emotion, the feeling associated with what's happening out there, what happens in your mind. So when you get this, you realize that I can recreate, I can reprogram my mind to what I want. And when I do this, I change my perception of myself. And when I do this, I impact and change my reality. And when my reality changes, I get what I want. I get what I want. And I interact with a different life, a different reality for you. And if you're watching this video, I think you want that. You have something in mind for your life. But you have to visualize it in here, like a movie screen. You communicate to your subconscious through these images, through these feeling images. So a lot of people visualize, a lot of people think about what they want. Well, let me back up. Most people think about what they don't want. So you're actually programming yourself to work against you. Now, these people don't know, right? We didn't know we're doing. I did this for a lot of my life. I didn't know I was doing this, but I focused on what I didn't want. I don't want to look unattractive. I don't want to, fail this exam. I don't want to underperform on the basketball court. I don't want anxiety. I don't want OCD, intrusive thoughts. I don't want this. I don't want that. Well, guess what? That communicates to your reticular activating system and your brainstem that that's important to you. So let's find more of it. And I noticed this in my life when I first had a lot of anxiety and OCD is that it started off really small and it built up and grew and got bigger and bigger because I was so mesmerized and in a hypnosis almost about this thing, and it just grew and grew. And so the key here is to not just think about what you want, but you place yourself in the end outcome. You go to the end of what you desire for your life, and you create a movie reel about it. What are you doing when you have what you want? When it's the end outcome is achieved? What are you doing? What are you feeling? What does your life look like? Remember, your subconscious does not know the difference, and it communicates with feelings. So you want to live there, experience it through your feeling, through your five senses. Remember, that's how we interact with this part of our brain. When you do this, you are directly impacting your reticular activating system to now change your whole reality. You're going to notice things coming into your life that seem like they never were there before. People are going to interact with you. And this happens quick. People are going to respond to you and interact with you differently. You may notice people respecting you more, treating you more fairly, treating you with more. There's going to be a difference because now you are treating yourself. They always say outside's a mirror of your inside, right? It's so true. People are going to validate and respond to this. And this is how we change our self-concept, how we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, how we see ourselves. But it starts up here, and this is the language, this is the reprogramming of this deeper under our awareness aspect. And this is what's running your life. And you have the power to play around with this, to put the inputs in on your life. It's incredible. I spent so much of my life not knowing how to do this, and really being stuck in like, what happens when you don't understand this? What do? You consciously just try. You try to change what's happening. You over control your environment to try and get what you want. And our conscious brain cannot do that for us. It's trying to do things that only our unconscious can do. And it leads to burnout, exhaustion. And so for you, there may be a process of letting go of a lot of these habits you formed to try and get what you want, right? The striving, the trying. Once you realize this, you realize your impact in your life is not through controlling it. Try to control those external things. Your impact is actually in creating here. Everything in the external dissolves. It starts to reflect the images and the life you're creating. in your mind. Hope this makes sense. Hope this adds value. Please comment, leave questions. Please subscribe. Definitely doing more videos on this. This is the basis of transformation, the basis of creating change, to mastering your life, to getting what you want. This is the secret. You might have heard of the law of attraction. You may have heard of manifestation. It's this principle here that those are all based on. And you get to do it. You get to use it to your advantage. So thank you for watching. Take care.